profit maximization returns to scale? Because this is a question that kind of might come up about this concept of returns to scale, applying it to this kind of profit level. So let's say a firm is at the long run profit maximizing output. So let's call it f of x1 star, x2 star. This is like the long run profit. We're using the right amount, the optimal amount of input 1 and input 2. And so our profit is going to be price times whatever our optimal output is, minus W times x1 star, W1 times x1 star, minus the cost of input 2. And so if we have constant returns to scale, that means if we double our inputs, we double our output. Well, that would mean we double our profit. But if we double our profit, how can it be the profit maximizing level? The issue here is that our profit is 0 in the long run. And I think you talked about this in first year, and the book kind of gives a couple different reasons why profit would be 0. But if we're kind of assuming that all these firms are kind of similar or the same, then like competitive markets are going to force this profit to be equal to 0. If it was profit maximizing us for one firm to double their output, and so increase their profits that way, then all the firms that have that same technology could also be optimal for them to do it. And again, we kind of talked about it would be competitive markets in the output part of it. And so the one firm can't change anything. But if all the firms together are producing more, then that is going to lower the price of the good. And so we're going to get this 0 profit condition in the long run. So that's how we can kind of make sense of this constant returns to scale with this profit level. We can also, next chapter we're going to kind of revamp and take a different kind of angle, a different look at what we just saw in this chapter. And that's through this idea of cost minimization. And so really we're covering really general ideas in this chapter. And when we talk about cost minimization, we're going to have to go back to our technology examples and think about it in just a little bit different light. So if a firm is maximizing profit is better, by producing Y units of output, then it must be minimizing the cost of producing Y units. And we're going to take this approach to figuring out the optimal amounts of inputs in the next chapter. So we are going to think about the max problem this way next chapter. Let's be more explicit on what I mean by kind of this way. Can I just put that in there? But maybe it's not clear. The first thing we're going to do is figure out the cheapest way to produce any desired amount of output. So what combination of inputs is the cheapest way to produce Y, whatever, Y units of output? And in general, we can think of different levels of Y and different combinations of inputs. So that's going to be the first step. And then the second step is what we're going to figure out, is figure out which level of output map is like the largest. It's like, which level of output, sorry, not which level of output is larger, which level of output produces the largest profit. That's what I'm trying to say. Which level of output is profit maximizing. So that's how we're going to kind of think about this in the next chapter. And it's going to start looking really similar to those maximization problems that we saw before with consumers. And so, again, we just need to make sure we understand how to approach these different types of problems.